Hello everyone, thanks for pressing play. You are watching a new episode of ExcaliburCCGTV. I am Chris. This is Randy. We are Excalibur Comics, Cards, and Games here in Shreveport, Louisiana, as well as in Texarkana, Texas. You can always visit our website at ExcaliburCCG.com. Hey guys, be sure and click on the link below to go to our Facebook page and find out what's going on. We post there daily as well as on our website. Tell you what's going on with the store, what's going on sometimes in comics. We have links to different things on Facebook and stuff, so have some fun stuff there that you can participate and be a part of. And guys, sorry about last week. Apparently there weren't too many fans of the question of the week. Maybe it was too negative or something. I don't know.
Lots of responses. My question.
Exactly. There we go.
Responses. His question.
I bow, sir. I bow. But we got a good one for this week, so hopefully we'll get some chatter out of you guys this week. Before we dive into the storylines, though, I believe my good friend Randy might have a little something for us.
Yeah, we sometimes, when I have something to say, have a why I love it, why I hate it kind of section. Why I love comics, I love solicitations. I love being able to see what the story is that I'm going to be picking up from a book. What I hate about it is when you get, like last week, I gave you information for The Massive and for Rachel Rising, and if you read those books, they didn't have anything to do with what the solicitations and myself told you about. Right. And East of West is guilty of doing something like that. So I don't like when you do something along those lines. I don't know if they extend a storyline or what exactly goes on there, but it throws me off as a reader because I'm coming in prepared to read something else than what is actually there.
Right.
And while I'm at it, classified, one little sentence, obscure little, bland reference. No, I don't like that either. No. Walking Dead, stop it. Marvel, with so many of your solicits, stop it.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't help us at all because we're really trying to inform you guys of what's going on with what we know about the series.
Yeah. And
then, with what's coming up from what we learned from all that. But yeah, totally. Yeah. That's a totally legit problem to have, guys. Exactly. So guys, tell us what you think of Randy's Why I Love It, Why I Hate It in the comments below. Moving on, guys. Storylines for July 2nd. I'll go ahead and start it off with the Original Sin.
Do so.
Original Sin, number 5. Guys, if you've been reading the series, at the end of number 3, there was a big thing. At the end of number 4, there was another big thing. And in this one, it looks like we might find out, number 1, we might find out who the Unseen are.
Okay.
And then number 2, we may find out what the Original Sin is.
Okay.
That's what they're telling us. And of course, there's this week it's just the Original Sin. I didn't see any tie-in issues to that. So,
yeah, we do have an Avengers tie-in issue.
Okay, I missed that. So we got an Avengers tie-in issue to that as well. But guys, with number 5, those are the 2 main things to be looking for. What or who are the Unseen? And what is the Original?
Yeah, the tie-in has to deal with the Illuminati, I believe. So that's cool. It's somehow bleeding over, I guess, from New Avengers into scratch that. Never mind that.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a second print.
What's up for you, bro, for storylines?
Yeah, I'm just going to say the Original Sin, I'm going to guess has something to do with an apple.
An apple? You're killing me here. An apple? Why am I missing this?
Adam and Eve?
Do you think that might be what the Original Sin is?
No, it's going to be something else. But up for me, we have the Superman Doomed is continuing with Action Comics number 33, and the man that you knew as Superman is no more. Now he is SuperDoom. And with SuperDoom, he is now in control. So, How is Superman, Supes, Clark, Cal, whatever you want to call him, how is he supposed to regain control or find a cure or fix things when the monster of Steel is in control of the mind?
Right.
So, it's an interesting little thing that they're doing here. Again, I'm going to give I'm probably going to spoil something for a few of you guys, but I bet that he does find a cure.
think so?
I bet something happens and he's able to overcome and find a cure, because I don't think it's going to keep going on forever.
And guys, I've only caught bits and pieces of Doomed. So tell us what you think about it in the comments below. If they've hinted at some type of cure, let me know below, because I haven't seen that yet. So like I said, I've only caught bits and pieces. But moving on, guys, we've got Green Lantern 33. This is the Uprising storyline part 5. And this is the final battle to unseat the power of the Green Lantern Corps in the universe. So we'll be seeing what's going on with that. Apparently it's not going on in Red Lanterns, and it's not going on in the New Guardians series.
Right.
Just the Green Lantern Corps and the Green Lantern series. So we've been trying to stay on top of that for you as well. But guys, part 5 of the Uprising battle storyline. Check it out with this week's issue of Green Lantern number 33 hitting the shelves.
Yeah, finally, we have Marvel they're doing a little bit of an event kind of story where it's the 100th anniversary special. So even though it's not 100 years, they're still doing this. Up first is Fantastic Four number 1. This takes place in the year 2061. I don't know if it's a new Fantastic Four, don't know if it's the same Fantastic Four. Their world is somehow turned upside down, as if it hasn't happened to them before. In this, I guess we're going to see who exactly is the Fantastic Four during this time period. We're also going to get to see who is the granddaughter of Doom.
Oh.
And while we're at it, we're also going to see exactly who are the Richards Banner twins.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So, little something there for people who like to get these future reality dimension kind of stories.
That's cool. Sounds like they're keeping all the brains in the same gene pool as well there.
Yeah.
So there we go, guys. Anything else for storylines for you, sir?
That is it with storylines.
That's it for me too, guys. Moving on. Let's move on to the question of the week.
Okay.
As last week, we asked you guys, what do you think is missing from comics nowadays? This week, we want to kind of have a more positive spin on things. So, tell us what your most favorite thing is about modern comics nowadays. If there's been a change that you've seen, a positive change come through, and it's still going on, or whatever positive things that you like about comics nowadays, log in and tell us in the comments below. What is your most favorite thing about modern comics nowadays? What would you like to start off with, Randy?
Okay, I've got like one and then just like a little tiny other one here. I love the fact that you have had the emergence of independent comics in a big way. And that way you're able to get all these different types of stories. Maybe you don't like X-Men, maybe you don't like Justice League, maybe you don't like this, but you still do like superheroes. There are comic books out there now that you can pick up from Image, from Dark Horse, from Boom Studios, from Dynamite, and some of the smaller ones, let's not forget them.
Yeah.
And you can see these stories. You can have all different types of genres that these stories, or that these companies are putting out now. So I just like that they have really expanded the marketplace with independent stories, and I'm well aware that they've been around forever. You've always had these independent companies, but I just like how they have exploded and grown and found kind of their niche and their success within the comic book community.
Yeah. For me, mine's kind of the same. I appreciate the diversity. There's so much diversity out there now. And it's in content as well as creators. Mm-hmm. And I especially love nowadays where I can go from loving what Jonathan Hickman's doing with Infinity or New Avengers or Avengers, and then go and read East of West, and It's still Hickman, but it's so different, and it's still so awesome. I just love that stuff. Or Manhattan Projects and several of those kind of aspects, just the diversity of it. And Randy said, if you love superheroes but you're tired of the big two, there's tons of other superheroes out there.
Right.
If you love crime, or if you love supernatural type stuff, and DC and Marvel aren't doing it for you, then there's Image, there's Dark Horse, there's other companies that are putting out very similar things by some of your favorite creators as well. And another thing, just real quick, is like another thing I really like nowadays is that it's kind of a good and bad thing, but anybody can be a creator. You don't have the hoops to be printed that you had to jump through, like when Brian Michael Bendis was starting out, where you had to create stuff and get it published and stuff. You can go to the web and you can get fundraisers, you can do Patreon, a Kickstarter, or Indiegogo, and all of a sudden you got people, if they like what you're doing, I mean, bam, you're a creator. You're officially a creator. You're able to do that kind of stuff.
Right. I think one of the best things about that, though, is that these guys do that without the safety net of an editor.
Exactly.
And then they go to possibly Marvel or DC, and they have these editors that help them hone their skills.
Yeah.
Look at Jonathan Hickman before Marvel, where he wrote great stuff, but man, that guy was not briefed in anything that he wrote. And now he trusts the artist to tell the story a lot more than just relying on his words to have to tell everything.
Exactly.
The other little thing for me is one of the things I love about comics today, the paper quality. And people might laugh at this, but for me, it's a huge difference.
It is.
You are able to keep the integrity of what the art looks like transferred onto paper.
Yeah.
And I complain about that all the time, that you have these great artists like Kirby and Wally Wood, that their art is just destroyed by the paper quality and how the ink bleeds and everything.
Right.
The paper was just poor and it didn't hold up. You try and keep some of these comics these days and they're just crumbling.
Yeah.
So the paper quality is a huge, major change for me that I like.
Yeah. And you pay for it, but it's still...
Yeah,
I guess it's worth it to see it preserved and last so long. So guys, that's our question of the week. What do you love? What is your favorite thing about modern comics nowadays? Log in. Tell us below, because we want to know. Talk to us. Tell us what it is. Tell us a couple things that you like. But that's fine. We'd love to hear from you. So tell us below. Moving on to some new number ones.
Yes.
What would you like to start off with this week, sir?
There are two huge number ones for me. I'm going to go with Legendary Star-Lord.
Yeah, okay.
This right here, number one, that is Sam Humphries and Paco Medina on board for the writing and art. And this is going to take a look at what is the day in the life of Peter Quill.
Yeah.
Well, there's Badoon to fight.
Yep.
There's an orphanage to save.
Yep.
And there's this girl, Kitty Pryde.
Kitty Pryde.
Kitty Pryde that, to mack on, flirt with. So,
exactly.
You get all that. I'm looking forward to this. The one disappointing part here is that we're getting the and I don't have any problem with how it looks, but we're getting the movie costume version that they've adapted here now. Instead of, I still go back to pre-Bendis run on Guardians. The outfit that they had throughout Annihilation and the Guardians run for Peter Quill was one of the coolest ever.
Yeah.
And I miss it.
Miss it. Yeah. That looks like a fun series. Yeah. The other one on the other side of that same card, Rocket Raccoon.
Yes.
Number one from Marvel Comics, Scotty Young writing and drawing. And as we're getting a day in the life of, here we go with Rocket Raccoon. We're getting some adventures with him, out and about, being sassy, being bossy, picking up chicks, going to fights, doing. I don't know. They're kind of portraying him as like a little Wolverine or something. I don't know. Some aspects of him. I'm not gonna say totally, but instead of having the claws, he carries around the big guns.
The big guns.
And then we finally found out. I found out where that came from, where like 100,000 copies of number one sold right off the bat. It was to a company called Loot Crate, and they do a monthly geek box where you pay a monthly fee and you get little collectible geek things, figurines, comics, and for the month of this month or whatever, they ordered 100,000 copies of number one. So that's where, and there's another 100,000 or so have sold. So I mean, this
I thought it was over like 300,000.
That's what I had last heard.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure about the other numbers. I know that 100,000 went to Loot Crate alone.
Okay.
And then the other ones are just orders from everybody. So the Rocket Raccoon, you're going to hear and see a lot about this character from the rest of the year.
The hottest Marvel character of the year easily. And just to give you a little more information on this, this has to do with somehow he has become a wanted man. And so he needs to find out what he did to deserve this honor and who he has to kill possibly to make it stop.
Make it go away.
So
That's
you
awesome.
got that. Scotty Young is awesome. You guys are going to love that.
Yeah.
We've also got coming out from Marvel, Deadpool vs. X-Force number one. This is a mini series. I don't know, 4 or 5 issues. 4 issues. And this is set in the past. This story takes place right at about the time where Deadpool and Cable first were, came into the Marvel Universe, where they first meet. And Cable and this newly formed group of his called X-Force.
Right.
They have to race through time trying to stop this insane maniac, Deadpool, from messing up time, destroying America's history. So could be a fun one there, and you're going to get the classic look for the characters.
Yeah.
I guess Deadpool really hasn't changed, but you
Yeah.
know, classic look for Cable and all those pouches.
I love it. I love
Yes.
it. And that's probably going to fly off the shelf, guys.
Yeah.
So
Oh, easily.
when you see this video and you want it, call the shop, call your local comic shop and say, hey, please add this to my list because 4-issue miniseries, it's more than likely going to fly.
Yeah.
Guys, from Image Comics, Tech Jacket #1. This is an Image Comics series created by Robert Kirkman. I'm not sure if anybody else co-created it with him back in the day, but with this series, Joe Keating and Corey Randolph are relaunching this into an ongoing series from Image Comics, and we get to take a look at Zach Thompson, community college dropout. He lives with his parents, but he also has the Tech Jacket, and he's the guardian of Earth for like the space sector. So
Yeah.
so that guys, a lot of people. There's been various mini series and one shots
Right.
of this character up until now, and now we're getting boom, an ongoing series of Tech Jacket. So if you guys didn't know, check out Tech Jacket. Have fun with that.
Here's another cool one that's coming out, and this is our final #1 for the segment here. Robocop 2014 #1. This is an ongoing series as far as I know.
Yep.
And you know, Josh Williamson, who has been killing it over there at Image Comics, jumps over to I believe Dynamite. So he brings along with him Carlos Magno.
Yeah.
He's done some other, I think, Planet of the Apes and Death Watch and a couple of those for Dynamite already. So, or Boom, Dynamite.
Boom. Hey, Deathmatch. Yeah.
Boom. Yeah. So that's your creative team here. And what this does, this takes place after the first film. I'm not sure if it's the classic first film or if it's the film that just happened here. It takes place after the first film, in which you have Robocop and his partner Ann Lewis. You get to find out what's next for them. What's next happens to be this pretty bad dude called Killian,
Yes.
who is released from prison, and he wants to, I guess, kind of reestablish his name, and he's going to do so by taking on the toughest cop there is in Robocop.
Yeah.
Now, during this time, I guess it's the city of Detroit has released a mandate saying that they want to remove guns from the street, and Killian, upon hearing this, I guess formulates a plan maybe to get the guns or something that is going to involve this, but a plan that he thinks will take out Robocop.
Yeah.
So, looks cool, sounds cool, and you've got some cool creators on board with it.
Definitely. It'll be Carlos Magna had a real clean kind of style, nice clean kind of style with the deathmatch. So
Yeah, we
that
really
should
enjoyed
translate very well. I did enjoy that series very much. And guys, that's it for the new #1s. Moving on to our favorites. These are the comics that Randy and I get that are at the top of our stack. Every week they come out, and there may be some spoilers ahead. But before we dive into that, Randy, from last week, what was your #1 pick from last week?
I'm going to have to go with Miss Marvel #6 here. What I loved about this was that you had you had Kamala instantly facing her first threat and facing defeat at the threat. You had a really touching moment between her and her father. But of course the father still is a father figure, and so after all this confiding and saying, look, you're my daughter, come to me and all this, but you're still grounded. So that was kind of a cute series. And guys, this deals with a Muslim character, but you look at the family, and I think what G. Willow Wilson is trying to say here is they are just like you. They, there's no difference in, just because they are this or that, or, words that people might use within their culture. They're just like you. But then you have Kamala deciding that, she needs to practice. Just because she has these powers does not mean that she's already adept at using the powers. So
right.
She goes through and does like a quick montage of using the powers, which still doesn't quite work in her favor there. Hello. It doesn't quite work in her favor there, but I love this series, and I love the heart that it comes along with this series. For those of you who are still kind of on the fence, if you read Runaways, Brian K. Vaughan,
yeah.
she reminds me a lot of the character Molly, who was the heart of that team, and so many people loved and fell in love with while reading the series there.
Very cool.
So
very cool. I think for me, because it was tough between Saga and New Avengers, but I think New Avengers is going to edge it out just a bit for me, because you finally got to see the climax, the battle between the two superhero groups from the colliding Earths.
yeah,
And it was an epic fight. I mean, it was awesome. And Valerio Schiti did the artwork. I mean, some awesome action, some smooth artwork. But what I really liked about it was the sacrifice, the heart, or the sacrifice that Doctor Strange did, and showed how he was different than the actual magical hero they had on their team.
right.
Big difference between the two. And I just loved how that culminated and went together like that. And we've been seeing bits and pieces of what Doctor Strange had been doing up to that point to save Earth.
Yeah.
So that was really good. That edged it out over Saga for me just a hair, but Saga was awesome.
Saga
as well.
is one of those where you kind of got to see this, where the two directions of Marco and Alana might be going.
Yeah.
There, that was it. Kind of breaks your heart, but Marco almost seems happy with what he's doing, and Alana just it looks like a tragic figure almost in some things. But the whole revelation of the robot prince.
Yes.
And which goes back to exactly what the author there was telling him the opposite of war is. He's now right there in the middle of, and his wife, the princess.
Yeah.
And what goes on there. And I read a review that said this may more so be a story about two characters who don't even know what's going on around them yet. And that was kind of an interesting take on it. Still, the cutest thing, and I'm glad I don't have kids just because, but that beginning with the breakfast voice was awesome.
Exactly.
It was an awesome read, too. But, I mean, that's kind of Saga's going to be a great read.
Yeah, it is. It's hard to edge it out the week it comes out with anything else. So, but for me, it was New Avengers, number 20. So, moving on to our favorites, what do you want to start off with real quick?
I'm going to start off with Clone. Number 18
Yes.
comes out this week, and what we have, the tagline for this is, how far would you go to protect your family?
Yep.
Not a tagline I really like because it's so bland there, but you can get more in depth and say, yeah, there's been a whole lot going on here that deals with protecting your family. Luke and the clones have been offered paradise, but in order for them to achieve paradise, it's at the expense of Amelia's life.
Yeah.
And we see Luke having to deal with that right now. It's real intense scene that they had in the last issue with the junkie having to help Amelia. And then we have the other side of it. I forget the lady's name, but we have the lady who she captured Luke and tried taking Luke's love juice to create a child, because apparently only the alpha clone the original, is able to produce children.
Right.
And after she's recovering and everything, she kind of looks at the rest of these zealots and she goes, "Oh, I'm not like these. I don't want to be like these." And You're like, "Okay, great, this is awesome." And she wants to go and make amends. She finds a member of the family to go to, and what's there but the little child?
Exactly.
And now you're going, "Oh, she's at a crossroads. She's going to have to do something here." So it's an intense book. Very good.
It is, guys. It's a great one. It's a great one to have there on the list. East of West, number 13 hits this week.
Yeah.
And this is finally supposed to be about the Beast.
Yeah.
The Beast, who is the son of Death and Zhao Lin.
Yeah.
The leader now of the
Shaolin
of the Chinese Republic, the Chinese country there in the context of this series. But we got a couple of issues ago, we got a glimpse of the Beast.
Yeah.
And things aren't what they seem with him. So I'm really looking forward.
That was so awesome too.
I know it was. It was so awesome. I'm really looking forward to seeing this issue focus on the Beast specifically, especially if he's able to escape from where he is and where he's going to go to. I have no idea where he's going to go to. I don't even know. I mean, I suspected that he knows who his parents are.
Yeah.
But how is he going to react to that? How is he going to be like when he gets out of where he is and faces that? I don't know. But I'm really looking forward to that with this issue. We'll get more of that. And launch even further into what's going on here. It's just an awesome series.
Yeah, it really is. I've got Iron Fist, the Living Weapon #4 comes out. After very shocking revelations of last issue.
Yes.
And longtime readers of Iron Fist, that's really for you. That's a longtime character that you see something happen with. We have Danny Rand. He now must make some decisions, and he must face certain ghosts from his past. Now, this is going to be one of those things where the secret kind of history of him as a child the things he might have seen and known as a child weren't necessarily what they were, and so those ghosts are now making their reappearance. There's been a very specific purpose that Kari Andrews has had for showing that childhood.
Okay.
So it's awesome book here. I loved it, and that last page is still, well, it wasn't the last page, but that revelation blew me away.
Yes, it was great. It was great. Guys, another one up for me, Magneto #6. Cullen Bunn with Javi Fernandez doing the art for this issue. But up until this point, Magneto has been focusing on keeping the mutant kind protected from humans. Yeah. But starting with this issue, it looks like he's also going to have to protect mutant kind from mutants as well.
Yeah.
And I got to see some preview pages of this issue on comicbookresources.com, and I was like, oh, yes! Why? I don't know why Cullen Bunn isn't... I mean, on top of this, I don't know why Cullen Bunn isn't writing Punisher.
Yeah.
Because I think with what he's been doing with Magneto here, he could do an awesome Punisher as well. But we're going to see what Magneto's going to do to mutants who oppose his plan to keep mutant kind protected. And it started. There's some familiar faces that he does some damage to in those preview pages, and I'm so looking forward to the rest of the issue.
Cool.
Awesome.
Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino continue their amazing run on Green Arrow with number 33 here.
Yes.
This is what is it? Broken Arrow. It Broken, I think, is the name of this storyline.
Yeah.
And this is the second part here in which Richard Dragon has been systematically taking apart Oliver Queen's life, his whole world, and just when you thought you were going to see everything that come to an end, somebody shows up at the end of last issue who is now claiming the mantle of Green Arrow, and man, you're going to get to see this new person possibly in action. This issue should be good. I'm kind of excited for this. It's a good twist I was not expecting here.
Yes. So. I love Green Arrow, man.
Yeah.
This is a huge week for me. There was just so many. You saw my list for stuff to talk about.
List.
It's a huge week.
Just skip volume 1 through 3 of Green Arrow. Go straight to volume 4. Volume 4 is where they start Lemire's run on it.
Yes.
And just pick up from there, because this has been one hell of a ride.
It's been awesome. It's been yes. Moving on, guys. Last one up for me, Moon Knight #5. Got to see, again, the preview images that comicbookresources.com had. We still got Warren Ellis and Declan Shalvey here on the creative team. They got this issue and #6, and they're off. And then we get Wood and Smallwood coming on board with #7. But I've been loving what Warren Ellis has done with this character. He has differentiated him by making this character focus on a particular aspect of how his heroic trappings are supposed to work.
Yeah.
And he is the protector of the travelers of night.
Yeah.
He has zeroed in on that. So if you're out at night and something happens to you, that puts you on Moon Knight's radar. That's kind of how it's been portrayed to me, and how he's kind of zeroed in on that aspect. He's not people want to say he's a Batman knockoff or a knockoff of this or that. That may be true to an extent, but I really feel like Warren Ellis has zeroed in on an aspect to keep him fresh and more original than what we've previously seen. And this issue right here sees Moon Knight by himself go into a abandoned building where an abducted person is there being held captive, and by himself go in there and get her out alone.
Cool.
And the cover for it, which you see here on the screen now, I love it because it reminds me of what happened with like that new Old Boy movie. There was a particular scene in there where he's fighting and he's just going level through level, just taking people out. And that's what the cover looks like too. So I just love it. Loving Ellis and Shalvey. Gonna miss them when they're gone, But we got goodness like this to look forward to this week.
Yeah, a good creative team to also come in on their heels there. Finally, for me, we have Nailbiter number 3 coming out, and guys, this one has been intense so far. We have bodies piling up, and the bad thing about the bodies piling up is the way they are being killed looks awfully similar to previous killings. So there is possibly, well, maybe a copycat killer out there, or maybe one of those killers is at it again.
Right.
People are screaming for the head of the Nailbiter right now. They want him arrested. Maybe it is him. Maybe it's not. I mean, this is a town full of crazy people, and you've seen some of those crazy people already in the previous 2 issues doing their things. So
yeah,
we'll see what's what with it. I should also mention, guys, that you have the final issue of the story arc coming out for Sheltered with number 10 and Lazarus with number 9.
Yes.
If you're picking these up, bravo, great. Kudos to you for picking them up. It's a great book. We're just not going into it. They're favorites for both of us because this is the last issue of the story arc. It's kind of a weird point to jump on at. They do take a break after a couple of months there after the story arc, so you will be able to get the trade on it, pick up the first 2 trades on both of these series, and then when it starts up again, you can jump right on with that series and keep going. Meanwhile, you can begin your search with looking for the issues 1 through whatever of the series if you're an obsessive collector. Exactly. So, but you don't have to miss out on the story.
Exactly. You can get caught up, which is awesome. Guys, that's it for this week. There's so much more.
Yeah.
There's so much more. There's some, anyway, there's other things. But guys, log in. Tell us what you think about Randy's Why I Love It, Why I Hate It. Answer the question of the week. Tell us what you think about your favorite thing that's going on now in modern comics that you just love. And tell us what your favorites were from last week. Tell us what you're picking up for this week as well. Tell us in the comments below, because we love talking to you guys. Thanks for your help. Our subscriber count has jumped up here a good bit over the past month or so. We're over 300 subscribers, over 325 subscribers last time I checked. And we really appreciate it, guys. And again, guys, you can always visit our website, ExcaliburCCG.com. I'm Randy. I'm Chris. He's Randy. And we are here in Shreveport, Louisiana. Who am I?
Who am I? Sorry.
But guys, we're here in Shreveport, Louisiana. We also have a store in Texarkana, Texas. If there's anything that we talked about that you do not have on your pull list, by the time you see this video, call us if we're your local retailer or your local retailer and say, hey, add this to my pull list. Guys, pre-ordering is your friend. You don't want to miss out on some of these books that we're talking about.
I'll have to go back and see, but I think that DKW is that Ditko? Yeah, Ditko Kirby Wood, the little one-shot that's coming out from Fantagraphics, where the person draws 3 different parts of the story in each person's style there, is coming out. And if your retailer's not picking that up, maybe they can possibly still order a copy for you guys, because those are 3 of the greatest with Wood, Kirby, and Ditko.
Very cool.
So just real quickly on the side there.
Very cool. Don't miss out on that, guys. Get it ordered if you haven't pre-ordered it already. And that's it for this week, guys. Until next time, take care, be safe, read some great comics, and we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.